functions on functions of cow's milk. This is the same context which we read in the morning. So we are just focusing on this. This is from Sri Upanishad. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. The highlights of this paradigm. As I was talking this morning that we are anthropocentric, more of human doing than human being. All decisions we are taking today are not considering the well-being of other species. And this kind of consciousness we have today. It's not that we don't want to do it, but it's difficult. All decisions made simultaneously should consider the well-being of all the other species, that is a human being as described in Bhagavad-Gita. Human being. We have to be human being, not human doing like everything just for humans. That is spoiling the situation. If that is making something good, no problem. But it has only increased the challenges for us. So, yeah. So, definition of milk. A fluid secreted by the mammary glands of female mammals for the nourishment of their young ones. A healthy mother will have sufficient milk for its baby. So, this is here the word important is healthy mother. So only if the mother is healthy, it will have sufficient milk for the baby. If the mother is not healthy, she won't have that. And again, as we described the pyramid of health, soil health is foundation, then plant health, then animal health, and then human health. This is connected chain. You can't, if soil is not taken care of, all three are struggling. The plants are struggling, animals are struggling, humans are struggling. There is no better food for any young mammal than its own mother's milk. The function of the udder, this was also taken yesterday. So the udder is placed in a fashion that it is easy for the newborn and easy access. No training is required. You just know where to go and get its share. This is milk composition of different species. And in this we see that the cows and humans is more near like. In calf less than 6 months, the 4 chambers of stomach are not fully developed. So there are four chambers. We are not covering these aspects in detail. So when they are resorted to some artificial way of feeding, then they have stinking stools because they can't digest it properly. But when it is taken directly from the udder, it goes straight into the last chamber, bypassing the first 3 chambers. This is how it should be. Growth potential of human milk. So this is from World Health Organization, Child Growth Standards, 2006. So 0 to 4 months, when the age of the baby is 0 to 4 months, just on the milk, it grows 155 to 241 grams per week. This is the average weight gain per week. And between 4 to 6 months of age, it is 92 to 126 grams. And between 6 to 12 months, it is 50 to 80 grams per week. This is how it is. So the average breastfed baby doubles birth weight by 3 to 4 months. By 1 year, the typically breastfed baby will weigh about 2.5 to 3 times birth weight. So we are going to discuss the growth potential of cow's milk. So this is the growth potential of a human milk, that the child goes double of its weight in 3 to 4 months and 2 to 3 times of its birth weight in 1 year. So can somebody guess what is the growth potential of a cow's milk for its calf? So what is the growth potential of cow's milk? Or in other words, what is the daily weight gain of a calf drinking milk, as we saw for the humans? To grow the calf to 10 times its birth weight in 9 to 10 months, that is the growth potential of cow's milk. So Generally, the calf is 20 to 30 kgs, the birth rate. For a relatively healthier calf, sometimes it is also 10 kgs, and it should grow 9 to 10 times of its weight. So if it is 20, it should be 200 kg around in 9 to 10 months. That is the potential of cow's milk for the calf. To attain puberty by attaining 65 to 70% of adult weight in 9 to 10 months, and to ensure disease-free healthy life. So this is the three potential for cow's milk. This is the average range of puberty given for, as we see here. Now, what is the calf share? How much it should get so that it is growing optimally? The calf is growing optimally. It is that quantity of milk which, when consumed by the calf, it attains the optimum growth, and the optimum weight gain is equal to or greater than 1 kg a day. So the calf can grow 1 kg a day. This is best achieved by calf and healthy cow being together at least for 12 hours a day. Study shows that such calf gives 10% more than their mothers. So this is, in a way, improving the breed quality. What the research says is, when you get access to mother for at least 12 hours a day, or it gains 1 kg a day for in the beginning period, like 10 months, he becomes a better producer than the mother. But today we see that successively, every next generation, the productivity of the cows to give milk has gone down. And the reason assigned is that we should feed them this, we should feed them that. So many, things we are innovating to achieve that. But the reason is not that. The reason is, again, we started the presentation with connecting the cows with the land and connecting the cows with the calf. So only that will ensure this breed improvement program. Today, in general, we see calves are separated and starving. They have hairy skin. Hairy skin is a sign of malnourishment. So whenever we see a calf and there is a hairy coat, it is because of underfed. So contextual milking practice, we should have the unencumbered suckling of a calf on its own biological dam from birth to the age of 10 months. So this should be allowed. At least 10 months of access to the mother should be allowed. The excess milk only should be milked. So once the calf is satisfied, what is left is for humans. It should be milked. It produces the healthiest, strongest, most disease-resistant, most resilient cows. If we follow this system, the cows are also very healthy. This is from Atharvaved. This is establishing the importance of photosynthesis. So we have just tried to link it. The shloka says that nature's element, the sun, atmospheric air, and cloud, along with soil, are responsible for excellent, desirable qualities of milk. So this is what Atharvaved says. If you want good quality of milk, sun, air, cloud, and soil are responsible. So this is what we were understanding in the morning, that if soil is healthy, then the plant going on, it will be healthy. That is the grasses. And if the grasses are healthy, grazing on the grass will be healthy. And so the calf will get healthy. The connection between photosynthetic capacity of grazing land and photosynthetic rate of the grass on the quality and quantity of milk produced by the cow. It is directly impacting that. The chart is showing that impact of forage quality on the milk. As the forage quality improves, the production of the milk will improve. The quality of the milk will improve also. So this is some recommended practice to achieve what we just discussed. We can milk once a day, preferably morning 5 o'clock. Allow the calf to be with their mother from 5 till 5. You may now separate the calf from the mother to milk her early morning, or this is just recommended, or any system of milking you follow should exhibit the growth potential of the milk in the calf, that it gains 1 kg a day. So there is a research done by Norwegian Veterinary Institute, and this is what we discussed is from that. They say that as a consequence of denying their share of milk, calf get sick, grow poorly, and eventually become poorer milk producer. Several studies have shown that calves that drink as much they wish are healthier, require fewer visits from vets, produce 10% more milk as adults, and show more rapid growth than calf forced to follow the recommended feeding regime. In that, they get so in the current system, what we see, they gain around half a kg a day. So 50% growth rate is available to them. The calf puts on more weight daily when its mother is allowed to suckle it. This is a strong indication of animal well-being. In any case, the researchers hope the new study will alter standard practice and the textbook will be revised. So today the textbook is saying that if the calf stays with the mother, it will go diseased. This is what the textbook is teaching today. If they will live together, it will become, if it will drink more milk, it will get diarrhea. This is what the textbook is teaching today. So this is what they are appealing, that they have a hope that the textbook will change someday. So this is before adopting contextual milking practice, means the calves were kept separate. So they were like crying and hairy coat. And after this, the system was changed. Just after 3 months, the same calves were peaceful because they knew that they will be fed, they will not be starving. And the average gain in the weight recorded was from 1.1 kg a day to 1.7 kg a day. Just by 12-hour access with the mother. This is also like before and after. Same calves you can see. This is before. So it was kept with the mother, but not allowed to drink milk. You can see they are together, but no access to the udder. He's tied in the front. And after he was allowed that access, it grew big, just in 3 months, quite big. This is another place where the calves were separated from their mother. So you can see the hairy coat, the color tone, and when they were together, just in a month, this was the change. So people have this argument also that, as I was telling from the textbook, it will give disease. It is our share, then will not. But Krishna was also milking twice. There are so many arguments like that, and they are good arguments to understand. But only thing we understand is that they were not starving. Calves were not starving. Whatever system Krishna was following, he would have ensured that everybody is fed fully. But the system we are following, because the soil is not healthy, so the grasses are not healthy, so the mothers are not healthy, so they are not good producers for the calf to be satisfied with them. We have to understand that root cause. We can't blame the system what Krishna was following. So we'll just repeat. Then we should follow the system of Krishna of grazing also. Krishna was also grazing the cows. So we just accept one part of the principle and ignoring other. So there are some confusions always with this principle. And then this is another important point. Being with the mother means more than just access to the milk. So we don't go to the mother just for food, but there are some social aspect also to the life. So when they stay together, they feel protected, social security is felt, and they learn from the mothers. So we just bring them for the food and then they just remove them. It's not a very healthy practice. So this is the calf. The bigger one is the calf actually. So just by keeping with them, staying with the mother, it grew very nicely. So this is the real breed regeneration program. Today, the breed regeneration program is we try to find out a healthy bull and try to breed with the artificial insemination method, and we think that we will regenerate the breed. But regeneration program is connection with the mother. So yes. So as we heard, excess milk is what is for humans. So how we get excess milk? That we are trying to understand from this slide. So excess milk can be obtained from cows which are consuming fodder with high brick level. High brick level means very high nutrient. As a result of which, the milk production is more than the requirement of the calf. So again, this is connected to the soil improvement program. So the fodder is of very high quality. Number two, cows which are consuming fodder with high brick level, as a result of which the milk quality is high. Not only quantity, here it is talking about the quality now, resulting in the calf being satisfied with less milk. So when you get nutrient, there is no hidden hunger. You will be satisfied with less. Third, cow whose calves by consuming fodder with high milk level, as a result of which the calf being satisfied with less milk. So now when you moving with the cow, with the mother, he finds that the grass is also very nutritional. So he might depend more on the grass and reduce his dependency on the milk. So the milk, excess milk will be more. Fourth, the calf is sick. So when it's in the nature's law, when somebody is sick, you fast. So they can't eat much. So that means the calf is sick, so you get excess milk. And lastly, the calf is separated. So when the calf is kept separate from the mother, we get excess milk. So the milk available for purchase today is a milk obtained by separating the calf. This is a general understanding of how today the cows are kept. So whatever excess milk, what we define today, which is available for purchase, is mostly sourced by separating the calf from the mother. Turning from mother, breeding against the whole. So when the purpose of breeding is milk, this is what will happen. There will be more diseases. So when we breed the cows for more milk, their health span got reduced. So we know that the cows kept for dairy farming or milk don't survive beyond 5 years now. Udder couldn't produce more milk because of mastitis. There are more disease because the calf is separated. There's a lot of pressure on the udder because the milk is continuously produced 24 hours. It has to be drained periodically. Like in humans, we know every few hours the child drinks milk. Similarly, in this, when the calf keeps draining the milk periodically, there is not much pressure on the udder and there are no mastitis. But now for mastitis, textbook says there are other reasons. But the real reason is separation of the calf. They got infected with incurable disease like TB, brucellosis. So these are different diseases which are coming to the cows because of, again, separation from the calf and separation from the land, grazing land. Dairying become unprofitable for the producers. So today, those who are keeping cows for milk is a different category and the dairies are separate. So like in India, we have Amul. So they don't have even one cow with them. They just source milk from different small people who keep cows, pay them money, charge a markup and sell. So they make profits. But the person who keep cows is not making profit. He is basically culling animals every year, unproductive animals. He is doing all wrong activities he's not supposed to be doing. And he's struggling with it. So basically, dairying, keeping cows for milk is not profitable. So culling has flourished. So we should breed only for a healthy herd, which will ensure their lifespan. So this should be our focus, that we should allow them to live their lifespan, as it is mentioned in our context also. Disease-free herd. So when they live as a group, as a herd, there are less diseases, no diseases. Profitable dairying, there will be more profits, and cow care will manifest. So that is real cow care. They will be happy. This is again too scientific. How milk is produced. A liter of milk is produced as 500 liters of blood passes through the mammary glands. The whole system explained how this is udder. This is the udder shown in the pictorial form and how it works. This is a mastitis, a painful condition milking cows caused as a consequence of separating the calf from getting free access to mother's milk. Definition given to ahimsa milk, now available in the market. Slaughter free. This is what we understand. No cows or bulls were either killed or exploited to produce it. But Bhagavad-Gita defines ahimsa or non-violence means that one should not do anything which will put others into misery or confusion. No mental stress. Even mental stress is called ahimsa. Bhagavad-Gita 10.4. So when we separate them, they are in a continuous stress, and that stress is reflected in the health of the human society today. So few of the exploitations done to cows to produce and market milk. Number one is stall fed. They are not grazing. Feeding cows in the places where they are passing stool and urine. So it is like shauchalayas. Housing cows in similar environment, they are not given their natural habitat. Calves separated from their mothers, impregnating a cow in the milk. This is one of the most wrong act that is happening. As soon as the cow delivers a calf, she's again impregnated the next month. So impregnating a cow in milk. So as per the scriptures, you can't take milk of such cow for offering to the deities, because it is feeding one calf in the womb and one is outside. So such, even a cow delivers two calves, you can't offer that milk to the deities. So practically today, everybody who keep cows for dairy or selling milk, they are impregnating cows the same very month it delivers a calf. So the all milk that is available today is from pregnant cows. It's a high abuse to the cows. And castration of bulls. Weaning, in general, we understand that weaning should be decided by the mother. We should not decide that. That's the simple principle. Cow knows when to turn down the calf. He knows when he's good. He doesn't need milk. She knows it. She will remove it. Because she has to recuperate her health. Because it is also drain of health when she's feeding. It's not easy, because a lot of basically it's feeding another life. So it cannot do it continuously. So she needs a break to recuperate the health. So that break is required, and she will do it on her own. So this shloka was the beginning shloka. We started the presentation yesterday. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 17, text 3. Although the cow is beneficial because one can draw religious principles from her, she was now rendered poor and calfless. So this is what we discussed. The calves are kept separated from the mother. Her legs were being beaten by an uncivilized. So the caretakers are not intelligent people today. There were tears in her eyes, and she was distressed and weak, and she was hankering after some grass in the field. So we see that we are feeding grass to the cows, but she's not getting to graze on the land. Her function is to graze, not to eat in a confined environment. So this abuse has to be removed to make the system fully functional. So milk derived forcibly from cows is poisonous and leads to innumerable incurable diseases. This is from Rigveda and Atharvaveda. So this is a consequence of separating calf. Nobody wants this, but because our decision taken to separate cow and calf has resulted to this. Milk as it is. Generally, milk is said to have the best properties immediately after taking. Well, this we can skip. Yeah, these are some videos.
Cooperation of German, Swiss, and Austrian researchers, published in the Lancet 2001. And what we see here is not only that in the dark, but we know in the Alex study we saw that farming, yes, is protective for asthma and allergies, but we also saw two very, very important factors that have followed us ever since. It's the farm milk, the milk directly from the cow that the mothers give their children, and the contact to the stable. Because the kids get milk, farm milk very early, and they start helping in the stables very, very early. And we see here that if they had neither milk or stable exposure, the bars were the highest for asthma, hay fever, and on the right, it's a positive allergy test. If they had either milk or stable, the prevalence went down. And if they had both exposures, the prevalences were very, very low. So here we had our theme, our topic for the next 20 years of research almost. What's in the milk and what's in the stable? And why is it so protective? So in summary, now 20 years later, we can say that more than 40 studies have shown that growing up on a traditional farm will protect from asthma and allergies. And it's basically the cow shed or a cow stable and the milk. But as I said, we don't know what's in there. And this has been, we're still on our way of looking for it. It's a puzzle that is hard to disentangle. Now,
even after 20 years of research, they are telling that it's a puzzle hard to disentangle. So what is there in a farm life, they could conclude that the diseases are less when they get directly milk from the cows and staying with there, but they don't know what is. So the farm effect, we need to integrate with livestock to experience health. That is the message for us. So when we are living with the livestock, we can have good health. This is another small video.
These farm children enjoy playing in the hay, and none of them suffers from hay fever or asthma. They are healthier than city children, thanks to what has become known as the farm effect. LMU pediatrician and epidemiologist Erika von Mutius was among the first to quantify this phenomenon, and ever since she has been trying to discover its basis.
We found that children who are raised on farms have a lower risk of developing asthma and are less likely to have hay fever or to show a positive reaction to common allergens. We believe this has to do with aspects of the farm environment, in particular with the presence of livestock and the consumption of fresh, unprocessed milk.
Unprocessed milk may be bad for city kids, but it seems to protect farm children from allergic diseases. Erika von Mutius is currently involved in several studies designed to discover whether the proteins, the fats, or the microbes found in fresh milk are associated with the protective effect. The sooner a child comes into contact with barnyard microbes, the better for its immune system. Exposure to microorganisms increases tolerance to harmless substances such as pollen. And this works best if pregnant women continue to work with farm animals, as Marianne Otterer did during her last pregnancy.
So both videos were explaining about the farm effect. But it is difficult to find out what is making us more healthy. But in general, they are accepting that the kids living in the farm are more healthier than those living in the cities.
Cooperation of German, Swiss, and Austrian researchers. Cooperation of German, Swiss, and
So just purchasing and consuming processed milk shall not give what the cow and her milk has for us. So we are living with the understanding that any milk will give us good health. But the point to understand from these two videos is that the processed milk, what we are getting today, shall not give us what, when we live with the cow and get the milk from her directly, will has for us. So, but the milk we purchase now is pasteurized, toned, standardized, homogenized, toned, whatever. So many activities are happening. So real fresh milk is not pasteurized, toned, skimmed, or homogenized. The milk you consume should be free from milk of pregnant cows, milk of cows in heat, milk of diseased cows, calf where the calf share is not given, milk of underfed cows, or milk of stall-fed cows. So basically, we are just discussing about that the cow should be grazing to get a healthier milk. Then only the soil will become healthy. So if the soil is healthy, the grasses are healthy, the cows are healthy, and then the milk we derive will be healthy, not otherwise. For economic viability in the dairy enterprise, timely culling of unproductive. So the animals which are unproductive, they are culled. So timely culling of unproductive cows is the key factor to the economic viability of dairying. If not culled, 70 to 75% of the herd shall be non-producers. Means calves, bulls, cows, and bulls beyond 9 years. But we hardly find any who are above 9 years in this environment. Hence, dairy and culling are complementary. Cows are our resource. Only when a resource is not used for its function, it will get culled. So because cows are not performing their function of grazing, when we speak cows, it means cows and bulls both. So when they are not performing their function of grazing, the situation is that they will be culled. So culling of cow is a waste of that community's essential resource. The cow's productive potential is inbuilt in their ability to graze. So functional extinction, because they are not doing their function, it is difficult to maintain them. So if the milk and milk products consumed in a nation comes by separation of the cow and her calf, and by separating the cow and the landscape, it doesn't indicate prosperity in the system, as it indicates a desertifying landscape. So also, this is in first canto, chapter 10, text 4, Yudhishthira Maharaj's time is described, and that translation and purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that how abundance the system was. Prabhupada is writing the rain was given, the clouds were giving enough rain, Mother Earth was producing enough grains, cows with their fatty milk bags in the joyful mood were moistening the landscapes. So that was signifying prosperity. This is how Yudhishthira Maharaj used to see that the system is fully functional. So that is the indicator of prosperity of any economy, not anything else. And the cows are happy. Cow needs an intelligent, civilized owner who does not separate her from her calf and grazing land. So this can solve all the challenges we see today. Yeah, so in a way we have covered most of the points we wanted to do. We have some extra slides we can do for 5 minutes and then we go to question answer. This is from Artha Shastra. When a coward, a buffalo herdsman, a milker, a churner, and a hunter, fed by wages, graze cows in hundreds, for if they graze the herd for the profit of milk and ghee, they will starve the cows to death. The herd maintained for wages. This is from Artha Shastra. This is also from Artha Shastra. During the rainy, autumnal, and the first part of winter seasons, they shall milk the cattle both the times, morning and evening. And during the later part of winter and the whole of spring and summer seasons, they shall milk only once, that is only in the morning. The coward who milks a cow a second time during this season shall have his thumb cut off. This is describing how the calf grows. It says that when Krishna was grazing the calf, they grew up so well that 1 month-old calf looked like they were 1 year old. I mean, comparatively now, when he was grazing them, calves which were the size of goats otherwise became very well grown like elephants. So grazing is very important. This is from Parashara Shastra. Milking should not be done of the cows whose calf is dead or which is pregnant. Cow should not be milked for 10 days after delivery. Also, those cows which are weak or suffer from disease or have delivered 2 calves at a time should never be milked. This is Manusmriti also speaks similar thing. This is for city people. Now, many times we think that we are all from city. We are not from village. What can we do? So we have a small appeal for people who reside, because currently ISKCON is an urbanized society. We are just preaching in urban part of the world. Urban consumers should become essential partners in restoring intention to farming, because what people in the urban society consume, the farmers in the villages are growing. Every time you eat, you connect yourself to a rural place. Food buyers, we are all food buyers, drive the decision farmer makes about what practice to put in place. The water farmer uses to irrigate is the same water that will end up in the wells from which city people drink. So if he's using chemical fertilizers to grow the food, we are drinking the same water, we are eating the same food. The air farmers purify or pollute is the same city people breathe. So it's not that there is some system where separation is created. It is all one. Srila Prabhupada. Protection of cows maintains the most miraculous form of food, that is milk, for maintaining the finer tissues of the brain, for understanding the higher aims of life. Milking the cows means drawing the principle of religion in a liquid form. Okay, thank you very much. Here one castration also. This is on castration, which says, it is in Hindi actually. It says that Shiva is agitated when we castrate the bulls, because bull is Shiva's vehicle, and The punishment given is also mentioned. It's all in Hindi word. An ox that is hungry or thirsty or fatigued should not be harnessed to a plow. A bull wanting in a limb or diseased or impotent should not by a Brahman be made to work. So it says the bull is important, should not be made to work. An able-bodied bull free from disease, well-fed and hearty and not impotent should be made to work for half the day. Then should one give the bull a wash. This is from Parasar Smriti. So bull and ox, as we relate, is bull we see means is non-castrated and ox we feel is castrated. But from this, we can understand that the working bull is called ox, not that he is castrated, is called ox. So there is one more word called steer, I think. Steer? Steer is the one which is castrated. This is regarding how to use the bulls. One who yokes 8 oxen to a plow is a pious man. One who yokes 6 is just a businessman. Cruel are those who employ 4, and those who employ 2 are but beefeater. This is also from some Purana. But even if anybody is using bulls today, it's not more than 2. Nobody knows to use more than 2. But here it says if you are doing 2, because it is so hard to work. It's not easy task, as we were discussing in the break. So 8 is the recommended. That is a pious man. 8 moving together. We have a video of that. If I will find, I will share it on the group, where in India there was a practice that 8 bulls were moving together, like line of 2 and working on the field. Thank you. Stop the screen share. Any questions, comments? Yes, Mati. Good question. Why we need to plow the bull? So the only tillage that is allowed is wooden plow, the one Balram was having. Today, most of the plows are metal plow. So that is totally prohibited in the system. And minimal tilling. So sometimes when we have to put our things, we can use those bulls to remove certain things just to grow for us humans. Otherwise, in general, it is not required. So minimal tillings. In the regenerative principles, the first principle is minimize the tilling. So it is a key line plow. Just these plows are not what we think as a plow. It's just a key line, and the soil is so spongy already that if you just move them, it will be very easy to. But then, as they started using wrong practices, it was becoming more and more difficult to plow. Otherwise, in general, it is not required to plow. So we were growing our grains also without plowing. We did it in Kanpur farm, one of ISKCON project in Kanpur. We grew wheat, we grew mustard and chana, all 3 on the same plot, and no plowing was done, no tilling was done, and everything grew very well. Yes. Sorry? I mean, I know some schools outside India where they are teaching this, but not many in India though. But I put my son in this project near Chef. There they are teaching. They have a 6 months traineeship course. You have to stay there, and they teach us grazing, moving cows, growing organic farming, everything they are doing. It's a 100-acre project, and they have many cows and bulls. Yes, Prabhu.
Direction than cattle protection or cow milk or all that. So that's why I'm a little reluctant. I don't know if you want to talk about that or just skip it. I don't want to make it political or things about against ISKCON, and we hear enough about that. So that's not the point. But more what's the vision of our own movement? Where are we trying to take our movement? Because to me, vegan means, okay, I've washed my hands from this. It's no longer my problem. I don't deal with milk. Don't talk to me about it. But that's not the solution. So is this a temporary gap? Like we're just taking a pause kind of before we figure it out? Or we're actually working towards something more positive than just a vegan idea? Or is it just a preaching strategy to attract people who are into that whole mindset? You know, who, oh, we'll attract these people to join this club because they'll see we're also vegan. Kind of a little not clear on the whole subject.
So nice question. And I also felt it many times what Prabhu just spoke. But what I understand is, as a vision, we should not be escaping from this situation, but rather what is more important is cow protection. Veganism is just an unintended consequence. It is an unintended consequence of a wrong decision taken, which is separating the cow from the calf and separating the cows from the land. So if we will correct this situation, then there, as we have understood, there will be access milk. There was always access milk. Why it won't be now? But because of our limited understanding of the complete whole the Lord has given, our knowledge about how things are working, we are skeptical whether it will work or not. So nobody has tried to do this. But when we have we will be covering it tomorrow, when the cow-land ratio is correct. There is a, even in the GBC policy of cow protection, they are talking about the carrying capacity of land. So none of the project have thought about this, what it means by carrying capacity. Now this hall has a carrying capacity. We can't have 200 people sitting here. 10, 15 are comfortable. This is what it is good for. Similarly, land has a carrying capacity. But when we start a project, we buy X amount of land, we invite Y amount of cows, and we start a project without calculating the carrying capacity. And then we can't let the ecosystem function. And then we have to depend on purchased inputs. And then the soil is not improving. And so the grasses are not improving. And so the cows are unhealthy. And so there is not excess milk. So veganism is just is telling us that something has gone wrong, correct it. But as you said, the solution is not just to escape from it. Solution is to also, as Vrindavan management, we have taken a vision to start one such project, the one we are doing now, in each of the 12 forests of Vrindavan. And the land which we are targeting is 2,000 acre land total. This is like 110 acre already. So similar size of land in each of the forests, so that we can have this system, because we already have 400 cows. We also are not in that parameter of carrying capacity. We are way beyond number of cows. So if we have to reach to that level, we need to increase the land under our management. Then we can have enough grazing land, enough land will be growing fruits, vegetables, flowers for our community members. But the point is, the desire, the intent has to manifest first. Like when we thought to make a project, we already collected 100 crore for this project, what you see today. Gurukul is there, temple is there, but now we need to start collecting for land. So nobody has thought in the direction that sincerely maybe to execute it, that we want grazing land for the cows. It was easy to buy grass and feed them than to have grazing lands. But as we understand from this, grazing land is the real solution.
I can make the ratio, because a cow will live so many years and they'll only give milk at a certain period and never has another cow.
Yeah.
So at the end, how many calves or animals do you have to maintain that one cow healthy? For its, so let's say we live 50 years.
At least.
Every 2 years, and we have animals at the end of this one life cycle.
Yeah.
So that's the whole land to have one cow healthy.
Yeah. So, but as you were explaining to her, I would just like to quote you again, that let's concentrate on Krishna.
Haribol.
Prabhupada Acharya? Yes,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Yes.
I think also for this particular project in Ajay, people should understand that this is not a typical approach in terms of, if you want to do cow grazing, then you should purchase grazing land. This is not grazing land, this is wasteland by all definitions. And this is a wasteland reclamation project, which is, don't have high expectations in the beginning. So everyone needs to know that.
Yeah. Yes, Mother. Okay. You take this also there. People can't hear you otherwise. Sorry.
Can you comment on cows in heat? That you said that we shouldn't drink milk of the cows in heat, but in Vrindavan it gets quite hot.
Cows in heat is not about the weather, but this is their monthly cycle for the cows. That is, I understand, cows in heat. During that period only. Any more comments? Or we, yes. Sorry? Yeah, he said it's a low land and the soil is not that poor, it's a line land.
It's saline.
Yeah. And the water table is like at 3 feet, but it is not good for irrigation. High soil, water.
High water table, all clay soil, no humus. It's got lots of issues.
We have not checked yet, but it's too saline. I mean, yeah, it was considered, this was the whole land of this area, as I understood. So not that all the land in this area are like that, but somehow.
Gypsum will lower your salinity. And it's quite cheap.
Clay is very good because it's a lot of water. So we are starting to make house. Like the house is in very nice consistency. So if there are not more questions, we can go. Yeah. Yes. This Sankalpi and the other is Basi. So the project we are talking about is Japanese Sankalpi Basi. Yes. So Sulva has considered one of the stay there. So she's aware of it. But they also have this challenge of stopping it because they were running the daily before. And so they have used to our house and the owner realized that this is not very. So we changed some ecosystem things there. But the thing that has changed in 7 years is that all the lands near to their land is like desert, nothing grows there. But her land is growing all vegetables, food, so many species are there. It's wonderfully thriving.
If cows can produce more milk if they're given different types of grains, is that bona fide according to Shastra? So,
So yeah, it's a good question that
what is that against
see, this is one of the method. As I said, we are not discussing method, but the principle says that we have to make the soil healthy. And so anything that grows on it, maybe it grains or grass or anything, then it will be healthy. And so the cows will be healthy and producing, will be better producers. Till then, anything we feed is just trying to make a small patch-up arrangement, but will have unintended consequences. So the root cause is to make the soil healthy. For that, we have to bring them on the land. Right now, the system is putting dung on the land, bringing urine on the land, but we have to bring the cows on the land. Dung and urine is already there. So we are doing a lot of effort to shift the dung and urine to the soil, a lot of energy goes into it, it's meaningless. More meaningful is bringing the cows, being with them, raising them, spending time with them. It is more personal. Bringing dung and urine is too impersonal. So this whole project is also about building relationship with the creation. Today we are living in a creation which is like more with of that matters. Everything here in this room, nothing living.
There's a famous person in Canada, Dr. Suzuki. It's called The Nature of Things, and he had several programs, but some of them is very interesting about trees, the benefit of trees in agriculture, and how trees send hormones in the sky and attracts clouds, and the clouds bring rain. So the role that trees play in farming and stuff, it was a pretty, but I forget exactly the title of the program, but if someone looks it up, David Suzuki, Nature of Things, can find some pretty interesting stuff that he puts on. Huh? Yeah, but he's Canadian. Yeah.
Yesterday we saw a video which also speaks about similar thing that 60% of the water cycle is from the oceans and 40% is from the trees, as you said.
Mhm.
But that is gone now because there are no trees left on our fields.
Yeah.
And connecting to that, we also saw one shloka from 7th canto where Hiranyakashipu is telling these fellow demons to uproot the trees from the roots to remove the secrecy of the Lord. Three things he instructed: stop cow protection, stop the brahmanas from reciting the mantras, and only third instruction was uproot the trees from the roots because they are the very source of life. This is how it speaks. That is going on.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Assuming that you have a fixed amount of land, do you have to wait for one cow to die before you let a cow have a calf?
So as we discussed, we will not focus on that now. We will be focusing on following the principles. All these years we have been doing certain things, not following the principles, and things are moving the way they are. So now we have to observe when we start following the principles, how things will, it might be happening. Like I am thinking that if we follow the principles, as the number of cows will increase, Krishna will arrange more land. We can also think like that. Why should we think that land will not increase? Land will keep increasing with our service area. It's possible. If you follow the principles, Krishna will arrange that. Because it's difficult to understand what will happen after I chant 16 rounds for 10 years, what will happen? It's difficult to tell anything now. So it's important thing is to follow the principles, be more sinking into it and trying to move in the right direction. But it's like totally off from our regular track. Like when we were, all of us, when not we, but we see the whole institution develop. When most of Srila Prabhupada disciples joined, what was there in ISKCON? No temples, no big facilities as we see today. Not even enough places to like 10 people living in one room, all day some kirtan, 10 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours a day. But they shifted their mindset to become more Krishna conscious. So, and still they are with us. So if we stick to the principles, I think challenges won't be there. The only challenge is to drill this mind and tame it down to the principles than the mindsets we have today. So as Krishna describes, the only enemy is our mind. So if we can just focus on these principles, things are quite progressive. And people have done it. I can quote examples of farmers who have 5,000 acres of land and doing only farming with grazing the cows and highly profitable. No tractor, no irrigation, and their soil is like 12% organic carbon. Just by this principle of grazing, highly profitable. But I'm not quoting the name because they use cows for beef also. So that is, they are from that country. So that aspect has to, but now they speak about Earth as Mother Earth. He already used the word Mother Earth in the last few years. Before that, he never knew about it. But the consciousness also develops when you work with the land and cows. Naturally, you can't control that. It's a natural phenomenon. Like when we work with technology, our consciousness degrades. You can't control that. You can't control that. You're helpless. So the system we fall in, we will be working accordingly with our mindsets.
The third one is the good one in the sense that if you do get clean down, we're really stuck because in the early days, we saw cows bring prosperity.
Yeah.
It was kind of a naive or idealistic idea that, you know, the cow is there, Lakshmi will come, everything will come, and we ended up in some cases where the animals were slaughtered or sold to karmis or whatever. So we definitely have to be very careful. And it's not like pulling out a carrot. You know, you've got a cow, and it's so holy, you know, very dear to Krishna. So if you're not careful, it could be quite a disaster at the same time.
So we can.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you all very much. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Ki jai. Aur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Thank you.